Hey everybody, Goosebumps or Dummies here, back again with another video. This time talking about Ghost Beach, the 22nd, I believe, yes, 22nd Goosebumps book in the original Goosebumps series. Now, the reason I'm doing this today is there's no real reason, and I was actually going to do this in July, or maybe even in June, for summer, because beaches are all commonly visited in the summer. But it was voted on a community post that this would be my 100th book review, and, well, here we are. This is my 100th book review. If I made any other review, that would have been my 100th, because this has to be the next one. Unless I wanted to wait a month for another book review, and hell no. So, here we are. Ghost Beach. This is the 22nd book in the original series, like I said. And it's not a very popular one, but it has a very iconic cover art that a lot of people love, and I do not blame them. It is awesome. But does the story hold up as much? Well, let's find out. Let's get to the blurb. And now for the blurb. Do you believe in ghosts? Fuck yeah, I do. Jerry can't wait to explore the dark, spooky old cave he found down by the beach. Then the other kids tell him a story about a ghost who lives deep inside the cave. A ghost who is 300 years old. A ghost who only comes out when the moon is full. A ghost who is haunting the beach. Just a stupid ghost story, right? And it's a very quick blurb. Because this book has a common issue in it that not a lot of people talk about, at least I don't believe. I haven't watched a million Ghost Beach reviews, but this is a very good book still. It has a huge glaring issue, which is one of my biggest downsides of the book, and what's keeping it from being a true classic in my eyes. But besides that, this is a really, really solid story. I like what they went for here, Stine went for here, unless this was ghost written, which I do not believe was true. I believe the whole OG series and Series 2000 were completely done by him, the entirety of it at least. Maybe some stuff was outlined by not him, but I don't know. Anyways, enough rambling about ghost writing, talking about Ghost Beach. This is a very, very solid book, and it is a very creepy one at that. So, let's get into my upsides. And now for my upsides, I want to mention how creepy the book was at times, and even dark. So, throughout the story, you kind of got some backstory for what the hell is going on at this beach, and why there's so many tombstones there, and why they're all called Saddlers. And basically, a lot of people under the name Saddler, I believe, they were all like ancestors or cousins of each other. They lived at this place a long time ago, and a deadly winter came, and they all perished. It took a while, but they did perish, and I think it took multiple years or something, but either way, they were all buried there. And they're distant relatives, the main kids of the book, of the Saddlers. Now, here's the thing, some of these Saddlers are still around living on this beach, and what makes it so dark is some of them, or rather every single one besides the main characters, at least I believe so, are ghosts. Yeah, so not only is that pretty darn dark, there is some creepy moments in the book, like in the climax. By the way, the climax is on upside. It's very tense, and it's a nice way to wrap up the book. The climax is a very disturbing scene involving the reveal of the first two kid ghosts. And there's a certain old man character that lives in the cave, which is believed to be a ghost throughout the story, but I'm not sure if he is a ghost or if he even is a Saddler. I can't quite recall if he was or not. Either way, he was aware of these kids were ghosts, and he had some dogs to help him out get these ghosts into the cave, and so he could lock them in there forever. It's a very weird climax, but still really good. Yeah, there was a certain scene in there where their skin may or may not start to fall off, and it was very gross and very creepy, and gory too, so it's a nice gore. The story overall was pretty nice. It's a nice little ghost story. It isn't like insanely predictable, but it is still pretty by the numbers. You can kind of see the twist coming from a mile away, especially if you watch the episode. It's pretty much like the episode overall, barely any changes. And the opening also was pretty nice. I think there was like some zombie sequence in there. It wasn't real, of course, it was a fake out, but it was still nice. And there was a nice dark atmosphere, and I liked the beach setting, as pointless as it was. The beach setting, I'll get to that in my downsides, how pointless it was. It had nothing to do with the story. It could have been just called Ghost in a Cave, because that's all it really was. The beach was just thrown in there for, I guess, setting, or to make it a more interesting title, to make it sell. Which probably didn't work in the end, because this is like one of the least popular Goosebumps books in the OG series, so yeah, that's awesome. Anyways, yeah, Ghost Beach, it's just got a really good story. I like the characters, I like the lore, and I really like the climax of the book. And yeah, that's about it for upsides. It is a really good story, but it has some issues. So this is my biggest issue with the book, and it took me a minute to realize this, but this book is way too long. For some reason, this book is just so long. And it's, the average length of a Goosebumps book, too. It's like roughly 120 pages. What makes it so long exactly? Well, this book doesn't need to be 120 pages. In fact, it could be like 12 pages. This story has a lot of extra fat, and though I do enjoy good stories with a lot of time and good pacing, and it takes time to introduce these characters and stuff, and get the mystery going, which is something I really like about the book, it does end up being just a really, really stretched out short story. And I believe maybe this was a concept that should have been used for Tales, honestly. This is a really solid ghost story, but it's way too long in my opinion. I can handle big books. I'm a big boy, okay? But this story does not need to be 120 pages, alright? This could be easily put down into a 12-page story. I'm not just saying that to be rude, like, oh, this is way too long. But it just really can be. Like, there's so much stuff that's added on that you could just do in such short time. You can introduce these characters. You don't need a lot of lore about them or the place. It can just be like a short explanation, which you do get in Tales from time to time. And it could be a quick climax. You don't need to build up all of these side characters like the ghost in the cave or the ghost kids, alright? No biggie. But, yeah, that's probably my biggest issue. It's not the hugest of deals, and I still really like the book nonetheless. It just bothers me a lot. I'd probably take a point off for that. Just that alone, man. Like, a whole fucking point out of 10. Harsh, I know. The book is also a bit lackluster and predictable. The story isn't all fantastic. It's still a really good story. It's just, it could have been something more, and I do feel the book is a bit slow at parts. And that's about it for my issues. It just could have been a lot better in some areas. Let's move on to my rating. Now for my rating. I'm going to give this book probably a 7.5 or an 8 out of 10. I'm not sure. I'll put whatever score I actually do end up putting up on here on screen when I do come to edit this video. Yeah, so 7.5 or 8 out of 10. This book was really, really solid. It just had some glaring issues and stuff that just really bugged me in the end. Though I did still really enjoy it, and I found it to be a pretty nice ghost story. Just not like a fantastic, big-ass fucking ghost story of so much lore and detail. No, it's just a fine story. And yeah, that's all I have to say for this book review. I hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me what you think about this book below. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Please tell me. Please. Anyways, yeah, this has been my 100th book review. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.